machines, AI machines.
Right.
Are they walking amongst us now? And how long they been walking amongst us?
There are different species of humanoid beings that are definitely walking among us.
And I asked you didn't actually answer this question. Is it possible that instead of parallel universes, we can possibly live next to simulation after simulation after simulation? Is that possible?
We are 100% inside of some type of program. But once I found out that I was living in a simulation, I realized something. You can control it.
And that's why the streets are acting like an animal. Is this why they push beef and meat into our community?
Okay. Have you ever drank Mad Dog 2020 before?
Oh my God, who ain't drunk Mad Dog 2020, gang?
Mad Dog 2020, how you act like a mad dog.
Right.
Same core principles.
Right.
Colt 45, which is a horse, a wild horse. You drink too many of them, you're going to be acting like a motherfucking wild animal.
Oh, God.
Same core principles.
By choice, right? I tell people all the time that life is reflected by what you choose. The reality, it only perceives what you believe is truth. So when you believe something is true, that's what the reality becomes. So once you hold something that's truth in your mind, it shows.
Religions, because it was the same fucking format. Sound, light, frequency are the building blocks of the universe. And people who know this, they use it against us. Because you go to church, they put on the display. That's the light. The church always bright lights.
Right.
The sound, the preachers, they signal for the choir to stand up and sing, and then sometimes they got drums. They got they got like the beat drums. Then they got the guy on the piano.
Right. All the sound.
That's the frequency, sound, light, frequency, and it has an effect on people.
The streets unplugged. You know we gotta plug the streets in, because the streets ain't been plugged in a while. I swear to God, my mama.
I'll go there with you. And make sure you get back safe. They banned me off the movie set.
You about to get banned from here.
Who, me?
No, I'm for real. Like, we've been trying to start since for hours. Right, and you come down here, you do the same thing with the fan. You got to get it on you. Like, it's so many requirements to do content with you.
That's why I was hesitant to come over here.
I mean, no, for real though. Like, it's like you got an army with you again
at all times.
Yeah, but listen,
I got a staff, bro.
Right, I get that part. Right.
If you had an elevator in here, it's cool. But I can't run up and down the stairs all day.
Right, you got a staff. One thing for sure. But listen. The streets unplugged. You know we gotta plug the streets in, because streets ain't been plugged in a while. I swear to God, my mama, stop playing with me. Listen, y'all been playing with me a lot of times, and I don't like it, right? So this is kind of like the Untamed edition, right? Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right? It's some crazy shit that's going on, and like when I say this, a lot of people watching this probably don't understand what's going on. But did you know this? They took a fly, right?
Right.
They took a fly, and they took a fly brain. They took this fly brain, and they took the fly brain and put it inside of a computer.
Right.
And the fly now lives inside of the computer simulation, but don't know it's inside of computer simulation. How the fuck can they do some shit like that?
It's all about downloading consciousness.
Right.
So, you know, computers are written in a certain language, which is called cubic. If you're able to download consciousness and put it in computer code like cubic, you can put it anywhere. That's why you see there are certain groups of billionaires that are being cryogenically frozen. And they're cryogenically frozen their bodies, their consciousness, their brain has been downloaded, and they're waiting for the technology to be present so they can download that into new bodies.
Right.
That's why we got to watch this Optimus program with Elon Musk very closely, because that Optimus robot is very, very, very close to how humans move, walk, and talk.
Right. That's the Optimus robot, right?
Yeah.
But what about Joy? Joy is a robot that's made exactly from the human brain, from the neurons of the brain.
Right.
So it's basically human, right? It's this thing consciousness, though it's made directly from the brain, big homie. That's the tissue. It's made from a living organism of the brain, but it's inside of a robot.
So let me ask you this. Is the human body the best creation on the planet that we know?
You tell me.
Definitely is.
Right.
Because if you look at how our bodies works, the synapses in our brain works just like a computer.
Right.
What's the nucleus of a cell? That's the core cell. So what's the nucleus of our brain?
Right.
The pineal gland. If you're able to decalcify that pineal gland, you're able to tap into an extra 5% of your brain.
Right.
Because they say humans can only use 10% of their brain.
Right.
The whole purpose of all of this is to give people immortality,
Right.
eternal life.
Right.
Because they ran certain projects, you can go pay $50K, get a clone dog. You can change the color of the fingernails, all of that. You can go get in vitro fertilization, pick the sex of your child, pick the eye color, hair color, all of that.
Right.
Problem is, they're concerned that those clones may not have a soul.
Right. And I can kind of like say something else. And I want to say this that so people watching this, you can understand this. And I want to have Big Homie CC elaborate on this. Being that this fly is stuck inside this video game.
Right.
Can it wake up?
It's already awake.
But can it become aware that it's locked in the video game?
That's the paradoxical question. Because us as humans, we make simulations on our own.
I'm speaking about one that we created, the one we created for the fly. Now you know this answer. Don't run around this answer. Don't play around this answer. She said, I asked you a question. Can the fly recognize that it's in a simulation? Yes or no? Don't dance around it.
Yes, the fly eventually will know. Now wait a second. This is not the natural world that I was born into, because that fly is going to try to eat. It's going to try to gather resources, and it's going to try to breed. Once it realizes that, it may off itself, because things like that have happened.
Okay. So, if it offs itself, what happens to the original brain that they harnessed to create the simulation?
Once that brain has been completely coded, that information, that whole fly's life is in that file. The original brain is going to decompose inside of the body that's dead.
Right.
So now you done transferred the entire consciousness into cubic, downloaded it into an interface. At this point, the fly is doing what flies do. But what do? What we know flies do? They go bite shit. They find your food, puke on it.
Right.
But the fly is discovering that there's nothing there for that. So in order to preserve that file without it corrupting, now they have to add more to the simulation that is living within. Same reason why they asked Elon Musk, do he believe we live in a simulation? And he said it's a 1 in a billion chance that we don't.
Right. Because this is what he said. And for everybody watching this, I just want to explain this what he said. And you heard a Neuralink, right?
Yes, sir.
He said that, first of all, I want to say this. Did you know that you can walk in a jail and do a 50-year sentence in 5 minutes?
Well, if they download your consciousness,
That's what I'm talking about.
put it in the machine,
That's what I'm talking about.
and they freeze your body cryogenically,
Right.
you do that time, they can put you back in your body.
Right. And that's what they're saying they're doing. They're saying that right now they're doing that because like the jails are so crowded that they think that this will be a better reality to put memories in people's heads that they've been in jail.
And they doing this in the private prisons.
So it's already been done.
It's being done.
Tell me about it.
Clinical trials that happened with Neuralink first, they tested it on rats, then chimpanzees, then the humans. Human trials have allowed paraplegics to play video games, walk, talk, and even see, just using their brain.
Right.
The private prisons, they got video games, they got TVs, they got you can order food on DoorDash.
Right.
They doing these things so that you will be quickly susceptible to, hey, they come to your cell with a paper. Here, we're doing a little program. It's an experimental program. We're going to pay you $40,000. That's what they doing to that. That's why the oversight of private prisons is important. And who's the biggest investor into that?
Who?
Michael Jordan.
So this is going on all inside the prison system. Though, how do this become aware? How do you become aware this is happening? How do
I become aware of this happening?
Yeah.
Well, I go to tech conferences. I go to science conferences. One of the main reasons I moved here to Nevada, because it's where they hold them all.
Right.
And the next one I'm going to, I'll bring you there so you can see what's going on.
I ain't say I want to go.
Why you don't want to go?
Y'all ain't finna put those shit in my brain.
I'm there with you. They can't do nothing to you.
You can't remember. You can't remember. They probably did it to you. How you know they did it to you, nigga?
No, they ain't did it to me.
Right. So another question about this fly. This is about this fly that's stuck inside this computer.
Why are you so interested in the fly?
Because I want to say one thing. What Elon Musk said.
What'd he say?
Elon Musk said that he can create a reality in your head in the game named Sophia. You wouldn't be able to tell this reality between the reality that you in right now. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference, right? So if this happened to this fly, could we be living in, instead of multiple universe realities, simulation next to simulation next to simulation next to simulation that was all created by different humans? Is that possible?
Scientists say that the afterlife takes place in another dimension. They also ran tests and had people communicate to each other in a dream. They say when you go to sleep, your brain goes into a different reality.
Right.
Your brain is what computes and builds this environment in front of you.
Right.
Your brain interprets this, and this is what we see from this.
Right.
But humans can only see 4% of what's in front of them.
Right.
So that answers your question right there.
Right.
Because you seen how the metaverse, when it first came out, supposed to be the next big thing that Mark Zuckerberg came up with?
Right.
They put billions into it.
Right.
They didn't have the tech to make it indistinguishable from this reality.
Right.
So they folded it.
Right.
Who had the tech? Got the patents on it? SpaceX.
SpaceX. And listen, if you know what SpaceX is, I don't know if you know Elon Musk sound like an Anunnaki name, and SpaceX sound like the X planet, right? A lot of people can say a lot of different things.
No. You say this untamed?
Yeah, it's untamed.
We going untamed.
Let's go.
Keep it 1,000.
1,000.
Because I'll be telling people, they hit me up, big homie, make Unc say this. I can't make Unc do nothing. And everybody who know Unc knows you can't do that.
Well, Elon Musk from the X planet. I'm gonna say it like that. He from the X planet.
He said in the interview himself that he's an alien trying to get back.
Yeah, he is.
He said that.
He from the X planet.
So how you feel about Matt Gaetz, congressional rep, coming out saying he got debriefed on alien human hybrid breeding programs? Because we was the only ones who said everybody we see is not flesh and blood human beings.
Right.
Me and you the only one said that.
Right.
You got the video.
Right.
The classic UFO is the saucer shaped and there's something on top. And I've never seen anything. I've not seen any. Well, I take that back. I've seen things, but that's since I've been in Congress and I'm not allowed to discuss this. I would just hope that the president would disclose everything that I've seen in every skiff I've been in and in every confidential conversation, every picture I've seen, every video I've seen. I wish that he would release all those.
Would that change the world? I mean, would that change people?
No, I don't think so. I think we just realize that we're one grain of sand in 100 million beaches. And I mean, if you think we're the best that God can do, I think you greatly underestimate God.
And you know what I kind of like realize what we thinking, people don't understand. These are machines. What we call demons, entities. They are created machines created by humans, I believe.
I feel like, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I feel like they stuck in a simulation just like us.
Yeah.
Because Joe McGonigal, the head remote viewer from the CIA, said that when he remote viewed Mars 1 million years ago, he seen pyramids, he seen a giant race of people. Some of them said they already had their time, they're going to die on Mars. The others said they're going to go to a nearby planet,
right? But
which is here.
What about robots that got consciousness? What I'm telling you is these robots are tricking humans to make them conscious. So they come into this reality as robots, but they're actually conscious. They're actually aware. That's what I'm saying.
How did they build each learning language model, which is AI?
They don't understand. They directed neurons to work together, and all of a sudden start picking up information. That's what they said.
Now, the way that they populated this information, this is why Google got sued. Because they was illegally harvesting all our information and feeding it into a machine. This is why Eric Weinstein. Eric Weinstein, his wife was a whistleblower on Google. He said one day she went to the park, got hit by a car, she was dead.
Right.
They couldn't find the car. Same thing happened to Sergeant Carl Wolf. The guy who called me out to come be in security, he showed me pictures of the moon. He showed me his Pentagon ID. He said his job was to edit these footage so it looks normal. Some of the shit that he showed me looked like a giant plow on the moon, 2 miles long. Now, when you looking at all this information, what did Joe McGonigal say again? He said when he remote viewed at the moon 1 million years ago, there was settlements there. He said he saw black people there. What did they say in the Epstein files? Epstein was quoting Sophia.
Yeah, everybody know that.
Everybody don't know. So when you said it, people was up in arms. People mentioned Gnosticism, but you can't just say Gnosticism because it shows that when you asked me in the last Untamed, are there other gods? This is the whole key. It's other gods at play. Some of them want us to know that they're here. The others don't.
Right.
Simply because every time, what did Anunnaki said, they created us to mine gold for them, but we rebelled. And Enlil caused floods and all of this. Every time we rebel as humans, cataclysm come.
Right.
And they reset us.
They reset us. Speaking of reset, right? And
Didn't you say something about the ice wall?
Right.
What Mr. B say? He said they seen the ice wall.
Right.
And you and I is invited to go to Antarctica.
Right. But speaking of reset,
Right.
They studied the jellyfish. They realized the jellyfish can reset. They took a jellyfish, they put it into the thing, they got the teasing with it and hitting it turns itself back to a child, right? And they said, okay, cool, jellyfish can do this. How could they do this, right? So they created a company. The company is called Sleeve. This company, if you was to get, it downloads your consciousness. If you was to get in a car wreck and lose everything where you couldn't,
You become paraplegic.
they're gonna put your consciousness in the body that has legs, and then you can walk and talk again.
You're going to be in an Optimus robot.
Yeah, they doing it right now.
Yes, they doing it right now.
So how is this being done that people don't know?
They always say if you want to hide something, you put it in a book. We live in a generation where if the book don't have pictures, people can't understand it.
Yeah, right.
They're not even going to try to understand
Right.
it. So you got to keep two things in mind. Recently, an asteroid hit and they found RNA, all of the building blocks for human DNA
Right.
in the asteroid.
Right.
They also found octopus DNA in the asteroid. Most scientists say there is no biological lineage to show where octopus come from.
Right.
Or jellyfish. Because jellyfish and octopus have been here since before the Cretaceous period, which is 165 million years ago. Because the truth is, octopus are immortal.
Everybody know.
Everybody don't know.
Everybody know.
No, they don't know.
Everybody know. They just trick you to make you believe you don't know. Everybody know.
Everybody don't know,
Everybody know.
Okay, just like lobsters. Lobsters can live forever. Only reason they will die is they go through a molt process. When they shed their shell, throughout that process, they become very vulnerable. Because you ever heard of soft shell crabs?
Right.
Soft shell crawfish?
Right.
Fishermen catch them after they molted, and now they're selling soft shells.
Right.
Lobsters, they found a lobster that lived to be 435 years old.
Damn.
As long as they have environment and food, they will continue to grow and live.
Right.
These building blocks, just like the horseshoe crab has blue blood.
Right.
In its blood is immortality.
Right.
These are all crustaceans.
Right.
That live where? The bottom of the ocean. If you go to Mount Everest right now, what you gonna find? Fossilized horseshoe crabs, oysters, all of that at the top of the Mount Everest, which means what? At one point in time, Mount Everest was under the ocean. So this shows what?
What is show?
Repeat timelines.
Right.
They keep us in a matrix of perpetuity of paying bills and having to be accountable for children and all these type of things. But what would you be? What would your senses be if you didn't have to do that?
Right. I wouldn't know, but it's kind
You
of...
would know. I see you outside walking barefoot. What are they doing in Africa when they want to live long?
Yeah,
they
walk-
go stand in the sunlight barefoot 15 minutes a day.
Right.
That's on purpose.
Here's on
Because when I go over there, most people don't even wear shoes. If you file at my apartment I had to put in a work order. The nigga who came to fix the crib was barefoot.
Stop playing with me.
On my granny.
No shoes on.
No, on my granny. That's
Right.
what's going on. And I say, but why you barefoot? He said, this is Africa, my friend.
Right.
We're attached to the earth. That's why we live long.
Right. Speaking...
So you got to make sure that you tell people why you doing this. They come asking me.
They know why.
But you can't say that.
We're playing to it right now. We're talking about the fly stuck in the box. But speaking of everything that we're talking about, and you just said a lot of things about these beings or these things that are created, machines, AI machines.
Right.
Are they walking amongst us now? And how long they've been walking amongst us? If they are.
I'm not going to say that AI machines are walking amongst us, but there are different species of humanoid beings that are definitely walking among us.
Blood of Jesus.
That is a fact.
So no clone humans walking amongst us right now.
Well, okay.
Oh, yeah.
International laws exist to ban human cloning.
Right.
They exist for what reason? Until they can monetize it and control it, it's going to be illegal.
Right.
But I know from the world I live in, it's not illegal to kill you if you don't have a birth certificate.
Right. But they're taking pieces of your skin, and after they take a piece of your skin, they're recreating organs, hearts,
So
real life hearts.
they can skin graft
Yeah.
and regrow organs for you.
But they're your organs.
This is how Joe Biden was able to stay alive.
So why is everybody around here starving saying they need a kidney if they can just make you a kidney from your skin then?
Same reason why you go to church on Sunday and you see these mega churches and niggas is millionaires and billionaires, because until they can monetize it and tax it, just like you got people doing life sentences for weed right now and it's legal everywhere, until they can monetize it and tax it, you're not going to be able to use it. That's why we just seen, my mama was terminally ill with colon cancer a few months ago. I went to Mexico and got fenbendazole, and now she cancer free in 4 months.
Wow.
Declassified CIA docs come out and say that cancer is a parasite. And what is ivermectin and fenbendazole? A horse motherfucking parasitic killer.
Right.
They sell it at Tractor Supply.
Right.
But they got it marketed where you can only treat it to cattle.
Right.
My mom took it and she's cured from it. We living in an era where they'll give you the suntan lotion that gives you cancer, and then they sell you the medicine to treat it.
Right.
They don't cure nothing. They just treat it. People get cured by using holistic methods.
Right.
And a lot of time, fasting, meditation, sitting in the sunlight is the key principles of this.
Right.
But if you got to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and when your kids get off, it's 3:30, when do you have time to do this? You can't.
Right.
That's why it's very important that you explain to people, like right now, every time people see me, I'm blowing my nose. I done had a sinus infection my whole motherfucking life.
Right.
All they give me is Claritin.
Right.
But I'm allergic to the whole motherfucking environment.
Right.
When I went to Africa, shit wasn't happening like that.
Right.
Then 5G is a problem. They cut on 5G. We got 3 bird species that went extinct.
3 bird species that
Went extinct because of 5G. Some people dropped dead. That's why you don't see 5G towers everywhere no more. Because what they do out in Vegas? They camouflage them, look like trees, putting plants and shit on them. That's what's going on.
Right.
And then they put aluminum into the atmosphere to do what? reflect the light to cool the environment so that we don't have global warming. But where else do you find aluminum?
Where else?
In deodorant. Why the fuck is you putting aluminum in deodorant? Because it reflects heat, stops perspiration. Still poison. So a drug dealer trying to feed his family, I get 100 years for a few bricks.
Right.
But the people who are blatantly poisoning the environment, nothing happens to them. And they eating children. Nothing happens to them.
Right.
That's why these conversations are important.
Right. Very, very important. And back to the fly, right? We gonna go back to the fly for one more time. We gonna leave this fly situation, but we're gonna understand about the fly and the simulation. Is it possible? And I asked you didn't actually answer this question. Is it possible that instead of parallel universes, we can possibly live next to simulation after simulation after simulation? Is that possible?
All right.
Can we be all inside a computer? Can life be inside of a computer?
That's why I respect you, because you're real sharp. You know,
I just want to know.
You know, I like to evade certain
Can we be
things.
inside a computer?
Oh, man. Here we go.
They say it in the comments, too. You always do this. Can we be inside a computer?
We are 100% inside of some type of program. Professor Jim Gates, somebody who I respect to the highest level, he found error correcting codes when he was mapping space.
Wow.
And in the equations of string theory, you also find error correcting codes. Within these error correcting codes, you also find adinkras. Adinkras are a 3D model of these equations. This is why I went to London, so I could go to the Crop Circle Museum. Because the only other place that I seen these adinkras was in crop circles. People watching this, I don't talk about this because I don't want to create a situation of spookism, and I don't want to create a situation of mass hysteria. But once I found out that I was living in a simulation, I realized something. You can control it.
That's what I've been trying to tell people.
And there's a group of beings that people see that called shadow beings, who I believe are the sentinels or the security of this simulation. Because in order for somebody to, like that video I showed you with a guy in Africa when he cut the little baby head off.
Right.
When you do these certain rituals and you find out certain information and you know that this shit is all bullshit.
Right.
And you're like, wait a second, this is all bullshit. This shit don't matter.
Right.
And if I do this ritual, sacrifice this child, I can get riches in this simulation, you're gonna do it.
Gonna do it 100%.
And that's what we're going through right now. So everybody that's watching this, you can look up Professor Jim Gates. He's a black man, well-versed. Neil deGrasse Tyson avoids him, and every time he wants to call a debate, because, you know, working with celebrities for a long time, they live in a certain bubble.
Right.
And they act like bitches most times. And I realized that they would hire me, and they know that when it come to like gangster shit, I'm gonna get it done. But I know that if I handle the simulation right, I won't get caught.
But, oh yeah, so you know how to work it. You said something crazy. You said you can actually control the simulation.
Yeah, it goes back to what you was telling people about manifestation.
Right. So are those people or are those entities right now controlling people in the simulation? Are people being controlled or people controlling themselves? What is happening with that?
Right. So I'll say this. We definitely being controlled. There's a book by Linda Moulton Howe called Alien Harvest. And there's a book by Dr. Roger Lear, rest in peace, called Hacking the Alien Internet. In the 70s, there was a situation called the wow signal.
Right.
Where SETI detected a signal coming from a few light years away.
Right.
And they was able to decode it.
Right.
And the decoding said, continued study of humanity for planetary advancement. Then it left a Morse code signal. When you decode the Morse code signal, it shows an Adinkra that I only ever seen that Terrence Howard showed when he showed the flower, and that's what gave him a download and how he made all of his inventions. You see what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
So I've been talking to him. He want to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? He said he don't want no money, but he want to have a conversation with you first because, you know, he was somebody that the diddler was trying to take his cakes. You see what I'm saying? And I'm somebody who we called about that.
Right.
So he knows that I'm very serious.
Right.
But my question to you is, how do we explain to people without scaring them that we are living in an actual computer?
Because I don't think you understand. You're not living in the computer. You live outside of the computer. You are trapped inside the computer, but you can get out. When you say one thing, you
So when you say get out, you mean transcend?
Yeah, you're through consciousness. Just like you said, the fly at the beginning. That's why I asked you the question about the fly at the beginning, right? The fly becomes aware. Awareness is a way to lead assimilation. Right? Awareness, but a lot of people got different tricks, but these beings, why do they not want to leave the simulation? Why they just don't want to leave if it's better outside of this?
All right. Now, I'll go back to Joe McGonigal. He said that when he remote viewed the ancient race in Mars, he said they couldn't figure out how to get out. So they was going to go to a nearby planet, which is Earth. They was 1 million years older than us and couldn't figure out how to get out. And as I continue to study and I cross-reference information, if you can go into one dimension and travel there, you can cross light years in seconds.
Right.
That's why when people take videos of UFOs, there's like this bubble of energy around it and it never looks clear. This is why. This is also why there's a town in Alaska where 30,000 people disappeared overnight. Food still on the table, fire still burning. They was able to transcend and go to the next dimension. Just like when you go to Teotihuacan in Mexico, they're like, man, whoever built this seems to have just built it and left. Somehow they was able to channel some energy with hive-minded focus and step out of this realm into the next. Because when I went to Native American tribes on their plantations, the Clovis people always say that they came out of a hole in the sky and landed and they walked into this realm. And they walked into this realm.
Right.
This is all about transcendence. That's why they put fluoride in our toothpaste, because fluoride calcifies the pineal gland.
Right.
If you look all through ancient texts, the pine cone is the most powerful tool, and they got it everywhere. When I walk up the stairs in your house, the top of the stairs,
Right.
there's a pine cone. They leave little hidden messages like this because that's the trick in the game.
Right.
You gotta leave hints in order to work your magic here.
Right.
And it's dark, it's spooky, but it's all about challenging it, facing it. And then you gotta really build yourself up.
Right.
On a mental level, spiritual level, physical level. Because without that, you can't transcend into the metaphysical.
Right.
You'll be stuck in this matrix.
Right. What that little thing you had, the ghost finder you had?
It's upstairs.
That's a problem with me. You put that on me, and then you look really weird after. No, I'm for real. You laughing. You put it on me, then you look really weird, then you put it back down. And you said it turned a different color if you're human. Why do you look down when you put it on me? No, I'm for real.
Because something I've noticed is that people who have like a higher spirituality and like you can see different auras. And I don't talk about auras to people because we living in a time where, you know, people have monetized everything. And you see people who play with tarot cards and stuff like that, they speak about auras, but they don't keep it 100% real.
So the machine show aura.
The machine shows auras. And I saw your aura, and
That's not the only place that does that. Did you know that a lot of people watch this don't know this? Did you know if you go to the hospital, right, and they take a scan of your body, that they actually cut your aura on the outside of your body so you don't see it? Right? Did you know the hospital did that?
that's why they keep the hospitals cold. They keep hospitals cold for that exact same reason.
Right.
They don't want us to know.
They don't want you to know that you got an aura outside your
They
body.
don't want us to know.
Why do they keep that away from people?
If people knew they could heal themselves, Big Pharma would collapse overnight. That's trillions of dollars gone. That's just a fact.
It's just a fact. And these companies don't even care about your health. They care about cashing in on the money.
For sure.
Right.
That's why they do certain things.
Right.
Johnson & Johnson got sued for giving you suntan lotion that gave you cancer.
Right.
The company that owned them made the cancer treatment medication.
Right. How could 60,000 people go one place and get HIV 1 and 2? Everybody got HIV and all these diseases in one particular place at one particular time from so-called spring breaking.
Just how the bubonic plague came and took out so many people overnight.
So did the government put that there, or how did they get there? How did all these people get it so fast and so quickly? And what the fuck is HIV 1 and 2? What the fuck?
And if the epicenter of HIV, which was in South Africa, how did it get here?
That's HIV 1, South Africa. But HIV 2 come from here. There's two different HIVs.
They're going to try to say that viruses mutate.
But it's two different HIVs, HIV 1, HIV 2.
But they don't have the same chemical profile.
They don't.
It was manufactured.
HIV 2 was manufactured.
Manufactured. For what? So they can sell you the medicine.
And they got a cure for that one.
Of course they got a cure for it.
Right. And a lot of people
That's why you see people right now that when they go get a test, it's non-detectable. Because they taking the medicine, which could be the cure, but they leave it a little bit, like you know how it is in the hood. They hit the work too strong. They have them doing a nod.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, you put some more on there.
Right.
It's the same. It's the same principles.
It's the same principles, right? But it's crazy. So that we saying all these principles, all this stuff. But can they manipulate your body once these things get in you? Because I'm gonna tell you, like when it comes to meat, I was told this, that when we eat meat, our cells duplicate and become that animal. So I'm afraid your cells start actually becoming an animal because them animal cells grow in your body and start duplicating in your body. Your cells morph into the animal-like behavior and you start acting like an animal. And that's why the streets are acting like an animal. Is this why they push beef and meat into our community?
Okay, so you got to look at. Have you ever drank Mad Dog 2020 before?
Oh my God, who ain't drunk Mad Dog 2020, gang?
Mad Dog 2020, how you act like a mad dog.
Right,
Same core principles.
right.
Colt 45, which is a horse, a wild horse. You drink too many of them, you're going to be acting like a motherfucking wild animal.
On God.
Same core principles.
Right.
And, you know, you ask, can they manipulate your body? Well, you know, look at the situation with John Manson. He was an MK Ultra. They admitted this. They set him off. Bro, the man was a serial killer. He ran a cult. He was a CIA project from MK Ultra. They manipulated the man's mind. They can download your consciousness, split it in half, upload a different consciousness through nanotechnology medicine, and control your actions.
Right, and do it that well. So why are they manipulating this consciousness? What is the reason for this? And can you teach someone to manipulate consciousness?
Hi. You sure we want to talk about this?
Yeah, 100%. It's untamed. You got to talk about it.
They say you can't call for God when you're in a inebriated state. Same thing goes for this process. Manson didn't drink or smoke. People who drink and smoke, they can't run this program on you. because your neurons and synapses ain't firing all the way. It can have a detrimental effect on you.
Right.
And you may remember certain things and spill the beans.
Right.
When your brain, because your brain can be hacked.
Right.
Did you know that when Russia and Ukraine war kicked off, Elon Musk cut off all of the Teslas in Russia?
Right.
One man.
Right. Elon Musk just said right now that if a world disaster come up, you will not use Tesla to flee. Nobody will. So he said nobody will use Tesla to flee. Not America, not Iran. Nobody will ever use
He
Tesla.
also said he an alien. That's how they trick people. If you tell people that, oh, these are aliens, they don't got to tell you nothing.
Right.
How can something be alien that when you look at petroglyphs from 12,000 years ago, the humans drew renditions of the same creatures that people say they see today?
Right.
How is that possible?
It's possible because something just happened that was crazy. A lot of people don't know why the war actually started. But we're going to talk about Baal, right? Because a lot of Baal,
Oleg.
however you say his fucking name.
Beelzebub.
But did you know they did this, right? They burnt the statue of him, right? But the funny part about it, it had Trump face. And then America bombed them shortly after that, after they burned this statue. Why would burning the statue result in getting bombed? Yeah.
Okay, so look. People always ask me how I met the devil. And I tell them, I'm not going to say that I met the devil, but we met one of them.
Oh, my God.
We met one of them. And you know, the devil answers to somebody.
Hold up. This is getting real. Who he answered to? God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's uncomfortable for people. Because when we met the dude, we at 660 North State Street at the Dana Hotel, Chicago, Illinois, 2016, Tuesday morning, right after we left the studio the night before. We walked into the bar, me and Dugar. We standing there at the bar. It's early in the morning, so people not drinking. So they see us at the bar. They send somebody down. You guys want to order a drink? I'm like, yeah. But dude was standing right there. White dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, gray suit, about 5'11". And you know I always wear a cross. He looked at me, looked at my chain, and made a little smug look. But you know, I was looking for an investor at that time. I'm like, look, man, let me holler at you, man. He's like, kind of blowing me off. But you know, bro, I'm something to deal with. You feel me?
Right.
I can go toe-to-toe with anybody. When I was standing next to him, I felt like a pork chop sandwich next to a crocodile.
Stop playing with me.
And I thought to myself, I said, man, where's my pistol at? Because I'll be lit.
Right.
And it's in my bag, or it's on me. He responded to what I thought.
Oh, my God.
He said, you wouldn't dare pull something like that out in here. Dude turns to me and say, Gordon, I don't like him. And we got away from him.
Y'all talking telepathically.
No.
He reading your mind.
I thought, and he spoke to me verbally.
Oh, my God.
So I'm like, damn, this is some different shit right here. And so we fled the scene. We go up to our room.
Get the fuck up out of there.
Because at that point, it's like, man, bro, I couldn't even fathom that this really happened. And then, you know, me and Dugas done been to 3 exorcisms, you know what I'm saying? We then went to the confessional booth with the fathers, and they tell us all of this type of stuff. But, you know, when this situation happened, it changed my worldview. Because then I seen dude 6 days in a row. Me and bro flew to Vegas. He on the same plane as us.
No.
I'm like, damn. But the whole time, he just looking with this smug look. And that was the moment where Dugas started to wake up. Because at first, he was like Crib Mac, you feel me? But after that, he said, okay, I see what's going on. You know, I got to lock in. And he started to wake up, you feel me? And we see the dude at the little beach club again. I said, what is your name? He says, Ball. We thinking BLL. But it wasn't until later that we put 2 and 2 together.
So
but he said to us though, he said, "You're in my playing ground now. Walk light." That's what Fool said to us.
So you met this entity. So what is the power of control for, and do the elites channel energy from this being?
They want us to believe that all of this is a fairy tale because they worship it and they serve it. Facts.
Right.
Bro, just like in fucking El Salvador, the president that made this the most safest country in the world, in his press conference, he said, the enemy simply isn't flesh and blood. Because all of these cartels, they got narco gods they pray to.
Right.
All demons.
All demons, right? And it's kind of crazy. Like, are we seeing rituals in front of us like daily and don't even know
100%. 100%.
What kind are we seeing that we don't notice?
Matter of fact, let me show you one right now.
Right.
Because, you know, when you watch award shows,
Right.
the whole checkerboard floor thing, see that all the time. Demonic. And then I'm going to show you this. Watch this.
I gotta see it. You
Watch
be having some shit. If you watching this, Big Homie CC always got something that he gotta show that's really unique to him, right? He be the only person with these pictures, right?
All right. See that right there? That's Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys pays homage.
Let me show you the video. Watch this.
Well, I gotta watch. I'm right here trying to see it. There's a lot going on, right?
Because, bro, they all worship the same motherfuckers.
Right.
And, bro, I done seen so much, you know, like you like the only person who even knows about this shit.
Now, I'm trying to make sure the world understand when they live in that, because it's one thing to live somewhere and not know, and it's one thing to live somewhere and know how to control it, right?
For sure.
So it's like people should understand it. I mean, the earth is good. It's a good place to live, but it's a way to control it. So you can actually go away from what's making you bad. People don't have to deal with it. And there's a way not to deal with it.
What's the way not to deal with it?
Everything come by choice, right? I tell people all the time that life is reflected by what you choose. The reality, it only perceives what you believe is truth. So when you believe something is true, that's what the reality becomes. So once you hold something that's truth in your mind, it shows.
That's how you control the simulation.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you control it. Watch what you believe is truth, right?
Oh, no.
Whatever you believe is truth, you will see, right? And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't understand this. But speaking of celebrities,
here we go right here.
Hollywood loves to praise Satan.
Honored to be able to receive this amazing award from the devil, from
Every image of the Baphomet, he's standing there doing this.
to the Most High.
what does that mean?
This is the devil's salute. This is a satanic salute.
Right.
There's only one country, only one state in the country where the satanic church is allowed to have groups in their high school. That's here in Vegas. I've infiltrated the satanic church.
Oh, what happened? Tell me about that. You infiltrated them. They you know what I was like. You infiltrated everything. Was Bigfoot in there, nigga? Was you looking for Bigfoot?
No.
What'd you infiltrate the satanic church for?
Because, you know, bro, some years back, I had got sent a video of some people stomping on a baby. And the baby was alive at first. And they stomped the baby pretty much till it was just in pieces. And this disturbed me. And they pretty much knew after this they was gonna have fame, fortune, and wealth. You know, because Sammy Davis Jr. was a devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying? So watch this. Let me show you something. Because I go out in the field, bro, and like that's what got me here, and I'm gonna stick to that. And people look to me to be a source of strength.
Right.
So, you know, I can't just, you know, you told me I need to sit still, so I'm gonna sit still for a little while. But these is the emails from
Oh, my God.
part of the Satanic Temple.
That's it. Satanic Temple.
Oh yeah, I've been to the meetings and everything.
Tell me about it. Tell me what it's like when you walk up in there. Tell me what it's like. It's like church. It's probably identical.
It's crazy you just said that, man.
Oh shit.
Like, that's why I have a real problem with these organized religions, because it was the same fucking format. Sound, light, frequency are the building blocks of the universe, and people who know this, they use it against us. Because you go to church, they put on the display, that's the light. The church always bright lights.
Right.
The sound, the preachers, they signal for the choir to stand up and sing, and then sometimes they got drums. They got they got like the beat drums. Then they got the guy on the piano.
Right, all the sound.
That's the frequency, sound, light, frequency, and it has an effect on people.
Right.
And it gets people to feel involved. And just like with, you go to radical Islam, the reason they able to tap into people's brains is because it's attached to a language. Those vibrations affect the brain and affect the body, and it's able to radicalize people. So when I walked into this, same thing.
Right.
They just got Satan songs. But they call it, but to them, Satan was the god of music. And the songs sound very, 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 very similar, but they have a ritual they call the cremation of care. The cremation of care destroys your moral compass. So you're able to make these sacrifices to this deity for wisdom and gain. Because the scripture says, make sacrifices to us and worship us, and we shall do your bidding. It's always we. It's always
what
we.
scripture? The Satanic scripture.
Yeah.
Did you know how that was created? Did you know a guy was in prison? They told him to create it, and he created it and wrote it really fast and got out of prison.
Yeah, because there's somebody above him, and he had to negotiate his own motherfucking freedom. And they don't want to tell people this shit.
Oh, tell me about that. Because I want to know about that. What happened? It was above him to negotiate his freedom?
On the next episode.
That's crazy. It's crazy. But a lot of people know how they got the book, but it's crazy they got the book. But you actually been around.
Oh, I've been there.
These people, right?
Right here in Vegas.
What's one thing that you could distinguish to say, okay, this is a satanic church and not a real church? What's one thing they speak like a hate or they speak like a love when they speak?
Well, the crazy thing is, like, they speak hatred with love. Yeah, so like they make evil shit sound cool, just like gangs. Everything is ritualistic. When you were part of the GDs, you violate, you got to stand in a circle of guys, they light a match, and you have to fight till the match go out. Ritual.
Right.
When you get it put in on, you join the Crips, you have to have a fist fight with guys until somebody approves that it's done. If you beat up the first through, they gonna send 5 more. Ritual. The handshakes. Ritual. Everything.
Rituals.
But they try to make it seem like all rituals is fucked up.
Right.
Why is it that in the Christian Bible, numerology is witchcraft, astrology is witchcraft? Anything that can help you outside of what they saying is witchcraft.
Right.
When people roll a weed and smoke it, that's a ritual.
Right.
The ritual is what people get addicted to.
Right.
It's not just the flower.
Right.
Everything goes down to these core principles of ritualism, sound, light, and frequency. It all goes back to that.
Right. So if they took the Satanic church and they presented it to a child that was unaware and told them that it was the good church, would that child be confused to think that was the right thing to do?
A child can't make proper choices.
Would they grow up thinking that it was the right thing to do?
Yes, they gonna think that, but that's why you see so many people after 21, they walk away from the church. You know, they had me in the choir.
Stop playing with me. You was in the choir.
Bro, and I'm looking at my mama like, Mom, what am I doing up here? Oh, y'all got me in the choir?
Sing it.
And then, they did the whole laying hands on people. I'm seeing niggas passing out. I ran and left.
Right.
So they come chasing me down, shit like that. But at 13, I had a gun.
At 13, you had a gun?
Yeah, I was living in the hood. I'm on 76 in St. Lawrence. It's busting. I got to have a gun. And at that time, I'm 6 feet tall. They think I'm a grown man. So, they gang banging. I got to be able to protect myself. And then I realized, I said, man, if the word of God is the word of God, then why does it say God is a jealous God? Why would you be jealous of your own creation who don't have supernatural powers? The Catholic prayer is Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now to the hour of our death. Amen.
Right.
But no other books say a prayer to any woman. These the only motherfuckers who can carry life.
Right.
So if you see a black man saying a black woman is God, niggas get mad.
Right.
Because I always said this. I protect women because if your uterus gets ripped out every month and you can carry a life for 9 months without dying, you ain't gonna be emotionally stable. You ain't gonna make sound choices. Cause bro, I'm a straight monster, bro. Straight monster, bro.
Right.
When I was breeding dogs, my mama and them was concerned. I'm like, I learned from y'all how to have empathy and shit like that. Ain't no man ever taught you empathy.
Right.
The more you deal with men, you realize it's a full-time job not to kill niggas.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
That's why I protect women. That's why I protect children. Because without that, I had to repair the damage I did in the field.
Right.
In order to get to,
Right. But it seems like over in the world, in this world we living in, and in the war, they're not protecting children. Trump in the war right now is like, it's like major headlines. This is what they said, right? And that's what I seen. Iran gave Trump a gift. They were saying it's some kind of energy gift. We don't know what kind of energy gift it was, but after he got the gift, he asked him to basically do a peace treaty to stop the war, but they declined.
he offered them a ceasefire.
What's that?
A ceasefire is a mutual agreement where you stop sending bombs and you stop launching missiles, and we'll stop launching bombs and launching missiles.
Right.
They do that so they can get medical aid in, they can get food in, and they can help the civilians.
Right.
But bro, like radical Islam has slaughtered more people than any religion on the planet.
Right.
And those people believe that when they die, they're going to heaven where young boys are going to be serving them wine and virgins are going to be at their behest.
Yeah, they love that. I told you that last time. They love virgins. They love all that shit because you got to have a virgin.
Why would you want a woman with no experience?
I didn't say I did. I said
Not
they
you.
did. Oh, because they're trying to do something else. They're trying to eat it, I believe.
They want control and they want overall dominion because they want to try to be like God.
And that's why they create Neuralink and everything like that. Right. We talked about Neuralink in the beginning.
The first clinical studies from Neuralink, chimpanzees that couldn't walk, as soon as they was able to walk, they attacked the people who was caring for them.
Stop playing on me.
Why you think they went to the fly next?
So
That fly ain't gonna be able to kill you.
So they attacked them as soon as you helped them.
Chimpanzees two times stronger than any average man.
Right.
Pull up a video of somebody was attacked by a chimpanzee. What do they do first? They attack the meaty areas on your face. They bite your nose off, your ears, your lips, and they go for your eyes.
Automatic.
People gotta understand something. In troops of monkeys, they have hierarchies and they commit murder. That's why they have the alpha male and he's got the troop of ladies. But if you cross, other monkeys gonna murder you.
They gonna just keep
Monkeys going into the Stone Age now. They're using spears to fish. Let me show you this.
I remember you said that before. So you saying they're going to the Stone Age. So what are you saying? They're becoming intelligent beings. They're becoming conscious.
100%.
How?
Some of them, their eyes look just like ours now.
So
It's
what-
never been seen in history.
What are you trying to say? You saying something but ain't saying it. What are you trying to say?
Everybody's seen Planet of the Apes, right?
Right. Because they could have injected them with something to make this happen, or is it just happening naturally?
It's happening through natural selection, and they trying to get ahead of the game. Did you know that if you took a pig off a farm and threw it out in the wilderness, it's going to turn into a wild boar?
How?
Thank you. It's going to turn black, tusk going to grow, its snout is going to extend. It turns into a whole different creature in a matter of months.
Right.
So that proves Darwin's theory of evolution. But in Darwin's theory, they say it take 1 million years for a pig to turn to a boar. It take a matter of months.
A matter of months?
For sure. Look what's going on right now in Florida. They pay you per every boar that you kill because the boars is destroying farmland and they grow out of control.
Right.
They was just normal pigs that people had released or they escaped off farms. They didn't know that once they go into the wilderness, something clicks in natural selection that turns them into a monster.
Right.
That can go from a 400-pound pig to an 800-pound wild boar, which will kill you. This is what's going on in the world. They don't want people to know this. Because what will happen to us if 607 decide, I'm a spiritual leader, you done bought 1,000 acres. Your people who follow you come there. They unplug from the matrix. You got 1,000 people standing in the sunlight barefoot every morning doing holistic methods.
Right.
Your senses is going to increase.
The streets unplugged. You know we got to plug the streets in because the streets ain't been plugged in a while. I swear to God, my mama. I must take his son places where people don't take their son. To the White House in meetings. He's sitting through everything. Wow.
Like that race of people is able to accomplish more than us is because they condition, they direct blood relatives all on bloodlines.
Right.
They protect bloodlines and they put their people in positions of power all around them.
Yeah. Or our elites being controlled like puppets to fight another war that's not their own.
Different factions of non-human intelligences.
Right.
And they war with each other.
Right. The reason why Wendy Williams sort of went retarded when she kind of exposed this information.
Okay, they say she has dementia, right?
Right.
Dementia is what? Type 3 diabetes.
Right.
You don't get that in a week. Soon as she started calling out certain people, she got the dementia. She got confined to a hospital, then signed over power of attorney to all her assets to a person nobody knows, who she said she didn't hire. And we just seen a few months ago, she was trying to escape the hospital.
Right.